everybody. My name is Will McDonald. I'm here in Adelaide, South Australia, and I'm here to talk paintball collections, jerseys, community, whatever we got. So today's the 26th of July, 2020, and I am not doing this live. I normally do these live, but today I'm out at Skirmish SA here in South Australia, where Ryan Richter and the rest of the Adelaide Assassins are running a Gel Blaster event. And I really like to get around those guys. I haven't really done so before because they use these Gel Blaster events as a great opportunity to build the community, build the field itself, bring a little bit of extra income for their team so that they can travel interstate, bring some more income to the field, and also to then use that as a chance to put on a bit of a showcase of paintball during their lunch breaks and maybe lure a couple of Gel Blaster people over into the paintball community. So I'm out checking out what they're doing today. Now I'm recording using my phone without a mic. I'm got a little bit lazy today, but we're rolling with it. A couple of shout outs I want to start out with. First of all, Down Under Paintball, Scotty Martin is always doing great work, and I'm well behind. I think this is my second that I have not watched or listened to yet. He's got Elmo Sheehan. He's doing an interview with Elmo, and as I said, I haven't listened to it yet, but I've spent a lot of time chatting to Elmo, and yeah, he's always got a good story, and he's a very generous man, so check that out. And I love the photo here where Elmo's just kind of mucking up for the camera midpoint, and my favorite part is you can see by the way he's holding his gun that he was just doing the old Elmo goon hand. It's obvious to me. Now, in addition, I was going to mention this again. Matty Marshall, again, like he was in Play the Game podcast and he was in the Playing On podcast. And you need to be listening to these. Like Matty Marshall, yes, more recently he's the voice of paintball, but he also has been involved in literally every endeavor of the paintball industry. Like almost literally every magazine, every TV show, every time it was on the air. He's played like a champion. So you got to hear his story. So I just wanted to bring it up again. But on top of that, on the Play the Game podcast, they've dropped part 2. And I think part 2 might be about 2.5 hours. First one was about 3 hours. And then on Markowski's podcast, it was about 3 hours. So I've listened to closing in on 9 hours of Matty Marshall, and I'm just turning it up because it's so good. You need to listen to that because some people think that paintball is just happening by default, but it's actually, it's not the natural state of paintball to be continuing and there for consumption. It's because of people like Matty and his crew. They are constantly fighting tooth and nail to keep it ever present. And I think the natural state of things is for it to just disappear out into the woods where people just run and play and have a good time. And that's cool for that, but for the people who want to see it grow, become a spectator sport, be a visible part of the community, that doesn't happen by default. You need to hear his stories. Also, some of his stories are ridiculous. They're funny, they're scary, they're impressive. You got to check out Matty Marshall on any of these podcasts, but most recently part 2 on the Play the Game podcast. Check that out. Also, Dwayne's latest version of Paintball and Pop Culture just dropped on Friday, which is right now. Today's Friday for me, right now. And that is Spaced, which is a British kind of cult TV series. Those are the guys that did Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and a few others. Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz is all you need to know. And I really think this is an amusing take on paintball, and it's just another kind of lighthearted, fun way of engaging with paintball and the community. So check that out. Okay, now, so I've got some things for appreciation, whether they're things that people have posted to show off or things to sell. So I'm just going to whip through a few things that I have seen online lately, starting with Griffin Spanner, who's a guy that I only know through Facebook, but I got a lot of time for him. He posted up some pretty interesting jerseys here. I don't have these pictures in front of me. It's all by memory. He's got an Art Chaos. I believe there was a Russian Legion, and then the third one was equally amazing, and it is not coming to me. Oh well, I'm gonna roll with it. I distinctly remember being more impressed by that one than any of the other three. Here we go. Here is an Instagram post from Jessie Maiallo, who's sending off one of her jerseys to a lucky purchaser. So I can't wait to get that. Here's a One Up Kids jersey. I don't really know much about these teams, but I remember these jerseys have been, coveted for 10 years. I remember seeing them on PB Nation 10 years ago, and they look cool. Rusty Glaze jersey, which looks very similar to the edition of the Dynasty jerseys that Tyler Harmon showed off when he showed his jerseys on this show, which was amazing. So Rusty Glaze is a champion. Came across this excess energy. It looks like a sort of a tech tee or something like that. And especially with listening to Matty Marshall recently, I'm getting to know more about this, and I'm pretty sure that this might be a tech tee for Excessive's sort of second jersey, a second team that they had going for a little while. And I don't know the ins and outs, but I think they had two pro teams running, Excessive and maybe Excess Energy or something like that. And at one point, they finished first and third in a major tournament, which is quite a coup. And that was, I think, back when Dynasty was just unstoppable. I might be making all this up. 187 Crew jersey, which 187 Crew is a team from a few years ago, pre-Baltimore Revo. Now, I know, obviously, Baltimore Revo is out of Baltimore, and I know a lot of the 187 Crew kind of became Baltimore Revo, but I don't remember where 187 was based out of. Maybe Baltimore, I don't know. But those are coveted jerseys, and I know Baltimore Revo was actually trying to switch their name back to 187, but NXL was going to charge them a significant amount of money. So we'll see what happens with that. How about this? A Hastings excessive jersey. Greg Hastings excessive jersey. Somebody just putting it up to see what would somebody pay for it. People were already offering a lot of money. Hastings is obviously a big name in paintball. He's got some video games. Nowadays, he's much more into the scenario, bushball sort of stuff, woodsball sort of stuff, but definitely a contributor to the community. And I have met him on one occasion. My buddy Spoon and I actually made a jersey for him. We autographed it for him because we thought he's always giving out autographs and giving away jerseys, so we flipped the tables on him. Kai Harris, I've got an Aftermath jersey here. Thomas Taylor, San Diego Aftermath. That would be worth something, I reckon. And then I cannot stop when I see a Nicky Cuba jersey. I have to stop and, I can't move past a Nicky Cuba jersey. I got to stop and think, am I going to pay a lot of money for that? Living in Australia just kind of limits me from doing that sort of thing. But man, I love Nicky Cuba, and a Nicky Cuba Ironman jersey would be pretty sweet. Now, cheesy segue, Nicky Cuba, Ironman jersey, number 23. You know who else wears number 23? JRad Cozier. And he took a little bit of time to chat to me and show off some of his jerseys. And I like what he had to show off. He has a couple of other pro jerseys, but largely his collection is just his own personal jerseys. And he was almost apologetic for that, which is kind of funny. I think everybody collects jerseys for different reasons, and whatever reason you collect your jerseys for is amazing and is valid, and it's got stories, and JRad has stories. So let's take a few minutes and check out JRad.
I probably should also offer a soundbite of something like, "Hey, I've got JRad Cozier here. Thanks for taking some time to show off your jerseys, mate."
That's so good. We have the Raw 2019 Series Champion jersey that I got to play with for Raw for the last year. It's pretty cool because it's the second time I've won a series, and I got to do it with a cool bunch of dudes. The second pro team I played for was Envious at Super Sevens, and this is the first jersey I won a Super 7 series in. So it's pretty cool jersey that I wouldn't get rid of.
Yeah, fair enough.
My Shenanigans Pro jersey from, it was 2013 or 14, sorry, we ran this jersey.
I love the plaid.
World Cup jersey that we wore for Envious last year.
In Florida?
Yeah. So,
Nice.
yeah, I got a little Australian flag on there for everyone, which is pretty cool.
Can I ask where 23 came from?
23's day I was born, so August 23rd.
Oh, okay.
So I don't run it because Michael Jordan's got it or anything like that. It's just
That was my guess. If I had to guess, that's what my guess was.
yeah, it's my number. So yeah, I just run with it.
Have you ever seen Spinal Tap?
Is that a movie?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Never mind then. I was going to give you the origin story of my number 11. Don't worry about it.
And he's probably my favorite jersey I have. This is the Shenanigans 2014 Millennium World Cup jersey. We were sponsored by Mac Dev back in the day, so it's got the Mac Dev logo pattern through it.
Yeah, that's cool.
The Millennium logo on it.
Yep. That MacDev logo kind of in a houndstooth pattern is cool.
Yeah, they called it Mac Tooth.
Oh, that's cool.
There's this jacket that Mac Dev made up back in the day. Apparently they only did a small run of them. There's a same pattern there.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, show off your beer koozie while you're there.
Pardon?
Show off your beer koozie while you're there.
Oh yeah, the little.
That's awesome.
Little beer cooler for anyone.
That's a step away from getting your own action figure.
Yeah, close to it. They even did jackets in the same of the jersey. It's my explicit jersey.
Yep.
Back in 2017 with the boys. And I've got my Eskimo jersey. This is the jersey I started playing with the Eskimos with. Just snuck in there for a sneaky Sunday.
So you played with Explicit and then Eskimos and then Raw. So that's 2017, 2018, 2019.
Yeah, and now this year we're playing with Crisis for Super Sevens.
Yep.
Not that we've got to play a lot this year though. With the old COVID going around.
Yeah, nice.
Just all red, nice and simple. H2O jersey that I play for down in Victoria for the Vic Vibes. Another H2O jersey. This was last year's one. It's the one before it was the one we're supposed to run on this year, but I only got to play the one event.
So that's a 10-man state of origin at Sevens?
Yeah, I think this one was 2014. And back in the day, an old X-Fighters jersey.
Oh, wow.
I got this from Source. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got Sus's X-Fighters jersey. One of them.
Yeah. Here's the Syndicate jersey.
Yep.
I got from Maxis when I went to over to play the Millennium. There's that's fully its own thing. It's all stitched on.
I see.
And then same with the numbers and the name on the back. It's not like one of the overseas Australian jerseys, just one of the
10-man?
10-mans that we get to play here.
Yeah, so is that 10-man 2017?
I think so. Yeah, it would be. I think that was the last time they did a 10-man. You know, you get the jerseys and you play for, some teams you might play for, years and years, or others you just play for a year. But, you always, you're wearing that jersey when you're competing with, the group of guys and that you're playing with, and, you become good friends. It's there's, a lot of, good memories and stuff. you know, and it's like, well, I want to get rid of that because it's like you can just look at it and be like, yeah, I had some fun playing with that team and whatnot. So it's good to like just look at them and be like, yeah, that was a good time.
A good time indeed. For a man who has played on so many successful teams, he strikes me as a pretty modest man. Thank you, JRad, for taking time to talk to me. It was very generous of you, and I appreciate your time. Now, I've got a few community contributions before we get to another short video I have with Sammy McNamara. So, as I've mentioned before, I'm trying to have a bit of a photographers union because I do a bit of photography, paintball photography. I try to anyway. And, you know, sometimes we are the quiet few that are sitting in the corner trying to make everyone else look good. So I wanted to give some love to this photographer right here, who I'm sure you'll immediately recognize as Mazzy Mao. And she's got 3 jerseys there for me. Obviously, a lot of support from Ace One, and I love that big orange and yellow Mazzy Media jersey because I'm pretty sure that's the same brand, same jersey that Trinity Hook and Sarah Birch have, and they get their own personal logo on it, and I think that's pretty sweet. So, Mazzy, thanks for sharing that with me, and hopefully that's there's many more photographers to showcase. All right, now a little segment that I'm probably going to be running for a little while. I don't know, we'll call it Lenny's Corner, because I reached out to Andrew Lynn, who I've heard has a amazing paintball jersey collection, and he just started bombarding me with photos, and I'm just gonna dole them out, maybe 5 or 6 a week until we get through all of them. He's got some good ones. So for starters, we've got one of his Bush Pig jerseys, which I'm sure you know who the Bush Pigs are. They're a big and growing sort of bush ball community. Not necessarily bush ball, but they play in the bush quite a bit. A lot of the boys out in Sydney play with them, and you know, they would be right into their JRad 10-man and that sort of thing. And I think they just love what they do, and they're just having fun, and maybe pairing it back to days before it was just all competition and that sort of thing. I'd love to get out and play against those guys sometime at a 10-man. This Super Smashed Brothers jersey, which is pretty cool. I have not seen that one before. And unless I'm mixing in my messages, I believe this one was Sean Mortelman's jersey, who I met Sean when I visited Sydney, and he was playing for the Dead Rabbits. And Linny describes him as one of his favorite Snake players, and rightly so. Speaking of the Dead Rabbits, I've got a Henderson jersey here. So Hendo, again, I met him when we were hanging out in Sydney, and he's a great guy. He was playing the Doritos around that time, I believe. And then we've got a Terry Brass Immortal Knights jersey. So the Immortal Knights are a Kiwi team that regularly play in Super 7's semi-pro. And Linny described him as a fantastic mid-player battling it at a Super 7 semi-pro for a number of years. You cannot go wrong with a Dynasty 33 Marcelo Margot jersey. I have a Marcelo Golden State Kings myself. He too is a generous man, wants to build the community. Bobby Avilas Ironman, what a champion of the game, long-standing member of the community. And then finally, Linny, I'm finishing this one with Linny's Super 7's ref jersey, and he writes, "Special thanks to Mike Wybrew and John Corona." Sorry if I get that wrong. I should know more about the paintball community, I know. For their support over the years, and also thanks to all my reffing brothers and sisters of the Super 7 series. So the refs are certainly a team amongst themselves. Okay, now, so switching gears to Sammy's. I've got a video of Sammy's. This is part 2 out of 3 of Sammy's collection, and it's quite different from JRad's. JRad's a lot of personal jerseys, teams he's played for, can't part with them because they're meaningful to him, whereas Sammy's just a consumer of so many other people's jerseys. Not that he doesn't have some of his own in the mix, But check out Sammy McNamara's jersey collection here. This is part 2 of 3. Pay special attention to the first one out of the gate.
Very, very old school JT.
Yeah, old JT.
Maybe 2001, 2002 era. And one of the absolute godfathers of paintball in Australia.
Oh, wow, yeah, Paintball Pete.
You will not see too many of these around at all. And that was straight from the man himself. He said, mate, no one else, I don't have any other jerseys with my name on them, but I've seen your collection.
Yeah, that's gold right there. Melbourne Mayhem?
Yeah.
TNT.
So,
You say Neil Martin?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now, I must say, this one, I think is possibly the coolest jersey ever made.
I've got the coolest jersey ever made.
I know. The sheer coolness of colour and...
Oh, Chemical Brothers. Team Smack.
Yeah.
Tell me about...
Yeah,
Southern Storm. Yeah.
No, their team.
Is that a Chaos jersey?
Yeah.
Chaos out of like South Australia?
No. It was quite the thing there. The thing. Because it was Chaos. Became Western Australian Chaos and South Australian Chaos. And it was fun. I love to get these ones out for the bush ball.
Yeah, old JT.
Oh, no. This is...
No? Oh, Renegade.
You see them now going on the Renegade appreciation sites, and they go for stupid money.
Yeah.
I think I got out.
It's like the old Venomware jerseys that people just pay astronomical amounts of money for them.
Which ones?
Venomware, like the Sandana back in the day, old Sandana. Yeah, well played. Well played.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai. Cool. Yeah. So where'd you get that one?
At World Cup Asia. I said, I'll buy you a bottle of bourbon, mate. Yep. Oh, Ron, if you're out there, I still owe you a bottle of bourbon. Send me your goddamn address and I'll get it to you, dude, because I don't know where the hell you went. This is just purely when Smart Parts started doing their subliminal printing. And they would just send out a few different, really advertising shirts.
Nice. All Americans?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Detroit Strange.
Yeah, that's pretty old school.
And that would have been around the era of the TV series that they did. And
the Bushwhackers, wow. That is old school.
And that was back in the Super Sevens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, two of the boys came over. And
so who is that? Who is that?
Shane Howe.
Oh, that is awesome.
And hence, I got his shirt.
Yeah,
he was just an amazing player. He is now playing with
DMG?
Just Reese. Yeah. Yep, there you go.
Not only is he playing with them, last I saw he was playing Snake. Nice.
This one.
Smart Parts, Ollie Lang, Dynasty jersey. It's pretty good. Speaking of the devil.
Pinstripe.
Yeah, I love the pinstripe.
Another one from Neil Martin. Doesn't have his name on it, unfortunately. But I don't think there'd be too many of these around anywhere.
Wow, that's old school.
Because they only used it for maybe one event in Perth, maybe one or two events.
Yeah, I don't have a SWAT jersey, but I've dropped a few hints. I've been talking to Scotty Martin. He might be hooking me up one day.
Scotty should hook you up, man. Come on, Scotty, hook a man up. Jesus, everybody knows he wants one.
Come on, Scotty, hook a man up. You heard Sammy. Now you got to do it for me. So Sammy, thanks for that. We spoke a little while ago, and I've got one more of your contributions that I'll save for another rating day in the future. Now, I want to also speak about Sammy because most recently he has just he's just caught, I guess, the white whale, you could say, something he's been hunting for a very long time. And it is this is an excessive heavy episode, excessive Telfer Jersey, which those would be increasingly rare and very, very valued and coveted. When I first started doing this, I actually reached out to Rich Telford. He's a generous guy as well. Everyone in paintball seems to be. And I said, hey, is there any way, can you send me some photos, some more, so I can just say, here's a Telfer jersey, something that Rich Telford sent me. He's like, I gave them all away. He doesn't have any of his old jerseys. So Sammy McNamara, you got more Telfer jerseys than Rich Telford, the man himself, does. Well done. All right, so in closing, I'm just going to show off one jersey. I'm quickly running out of jerseys, but I've got one jersey here. Nothing particularly hot about this one. Debatable. I got this from Tim Matthew. He was selling off a bunch of his jerseys, and I saw this one. And to me, this is just very nostalgic. Back in the day, 15 years ago plus, I kind of always wanted one of these. I had my team jersey, and I never really understood why you didn't wear anything else. But I always wanted one of these. I've always been a geek for hybrid, especially contract killer. I don't remember the year on this, but these would be, 15 years old, 15 years ago. These were the thing, at least for me. So hybrid technologies, they did a lot of like aftermarket parts for guns and that sort of thing. They did some pants, they did some jerseys, and they did a lot of t-shirts and stickers that were just like brutal, like cold-hearted and just murderous. And I just thought they were badass. These back in the day were also considered to have some pretty good pads, but by today's standards, there's like nothing in them. Maybe they've just worn out. So eventually there was some sort of scandal where Hybrid was sued because there was another company that had made some stupid gun way back in the day that was called the Hybrid, some rubbish gun, and they got sued. And because of that, Hybrid ended up having to give up the name and they became Modified. And then they kind of held on for a little while, but it just kind of wasn't the same. My buddy Owen, who is the keeper of my paintball marker back home in the States, sent me this photo here, which is of my pump gun back in the States, which is a Hybrid Cocker pump gun, sitting on a Contract Killer t-shirt. And I used to even have like hybrid rails on this thing. I was just a hybrid geek. So Tim Matthew gave me a chance to, 15 years later, finally get my hand on a Contract Killer jersey, and that's awesome. Now, last thing is just to remember, every Monday, clockwork, you got Dwayne Nichols running PBHQ, Monday, 7:30, Australia, in Adelaide time. Check it out, all the news of everything that's happening in Australia, promoting what people are doing, having a bit of fun in the chat, bit of banter in the chat. So he is kind of the connecting point of the Australian community, so you got to get around him and all the work that he does. I will be live again next week, and maybe I'll have a photo or two of the Assassins Gel Blaster event, just so you can see what that's like. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. Be safe, drink your milk, take care of each other, and I'll see you next week.